Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Car Shopping Secrets. Come on in. We are on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. We're going to be taking questions from every platform. So just come on in. And I want you, the goal, just so you know, is to answer as many questions as possible. If you don't know me, my name is Deshaun. I go by Deshaun, the auto advisor. I spent 14 years in the car business. And now my mission is to make sure you guys know how to save thousands of dollars when you buy or lease cars. Um, and you know how to shop for cars the new way, where you're in control. So that is the mission. All right. It's going to be a lot easier. It's going to be almost stress-free. The more you do it, the more stress-free it will be. But you have to learn how to shop from home the right way. The right way. So come on in. Yep, I see you kindly. Just ask your question and let's get right to it. Let's get right to it. And before the entire broadcast, my new book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, will be available in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio for 75% off. It's normally $97. It's a digital book. It's everything I teach. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. It's rated 5 stars on goodreads.com, and you can get your copy right now. So let's go. Send in these questions. How do you get a car in your business name and credit? It's simple. If you're going to go, getting cars in your business name is the same as getting cars in your personal name until it's time to sign the paperwork. Whose name is it going in? Now, if you're going to use business financing, then that's its own strategy. So you can learn from somebody who's teaching business financing, lines of credit, things of that nature. But when it comes to buying cars and getting your best price, which I don't see business people doing, I'm gonna be 100%. There's not a lot of people that I see who are teaching you guys how to put cars in your business name, who are even remotely interested in getting the best deal on the car. They're so busy getting the car in their business name that they literally will overpay thousands of dollars just to get the car. Okay. Um, Omar, question. In your book, it says that if you sell your lease to another dealer, you have to buy the car first. That means I have to write my current bank check. Nope. That's actually our plan A. That's not our plan A for selling our lease. If you have what most people do who are trying to get their lease equity, if you don't know you could sell a lease, if you didn't know you could sell a lease type of one, this is going to be relevant to you. We've sold leases for the last couple of years. You've always been able to sell them, but the last couple of years, it's been, there's a lot of money made. And when banks saw people making a lot of money selling their leases, $5, $7, $10,000, some of them implemented a third-party restriction, and that they limited who you can sell to. So they started letting. So then what you saw was a lot of people started buying their leases and reselling them. I don't like when you buy your lease and resell it because you're going to pay taxes on the purchase and you're going to pay fees on the purchase, and then that's coming out of your profit. So I don't teach that. In the book, Omar, continue reading or just read that section over. It's a lot of money involved in that section. When we have a third-party restriction, we're getting bids from a local dealer. We're talking to used car dealers. I have a script in there of what to say. We're selling our car to a local used car dealer. And if there's more money to be made buying and reselling, then you can do that. But oftentimes, because dealers most times don't need to pay the taxes, the dealer payoff is lower usually than the customer payoff, which means you can sell direct to a dealer and put more money in your pocket, but you must get bids. And that's what I teach. So just read that section carefully, Omar. All right, come on in. Could everybody hit the share button who is into sharing? If you're into sharing, if you share great information, if you're into financial literacy, if you believe that people should be able to, have the information to make the best decisions for themselves, then hit that share button. I appreciate all the sharers. I cannot do this. We can't do this mission without the sharers. Thank y'all. All right, let's go. Let's go. I see Instagram. Let's go. Want to trade my car, which I still owe money on, and I want to lease now. That's going to be very common. Many of you are going to find out as you find out you will, unfortunately, many of you were just programmed never to lease. You were programmed that leasing was bad. And when you find out the math and how much that's cost you, the first thing you're going to want to do is get out of your finance and go into a lease. So you need to call your bank. In my book, I call this the equity assessment. This is step 2. After you decide, now you've already done step 1, which is great. Step 1 is deciding, should I buy or lease? Asking yourself the most important question: how many years am I keeping this car? To decide, are we going to go for a long-term purchase, where we can avoid the depreciation in the long term, or we're going to go for a short-term lease to avoid the depreciation hit. Once you answer that question, that's step one. Now we move on to step two, which is our equity assessment. That's when we have to look at the current car we have, and we have to find out what our position is in it. Are we in a negative position? Are we in a positive equity position? So you're going to call your bank, find out what your payoff is, get your payoff. Don't look at your residual value on your contract. Don't look at, whatever your statement is. If you're going, you can do this with a finance, you can do this with a lease. The equity assessment process starts the same way. You call, you get a payoff, you find out what you owe, and then you're going to go to the online bidding, to the online car buyers, and you're going to get offers so that you can find out relative to what you owe, how much is the market value of your vehicle. And the market value is based on how much someone's willing to pay you for the car. It's not based on what a algorithm site says. It's based on, I got 6, 7, 8 cash offers, which is when you follow this process, that's what you're going to get. And you take the highest one, and then you look at what you owe. And if the highest offer is greater than your payoff, that's called equity. If the highest offer is lower than your payoff, that's negative equity. In which case you have to go with a different plan with negative equity. And some of you are going to have negative equity. You're still going to want to transfer that to a lease. But you need to know how much negative equity you have. So you must complete the equity assessment first, then we move on. Pete, how much normally is a good amount to put down? So when we look at putting money down, it's all payment management. If I'm financing a car and my goal is to pay off the car as quick as possible because I'm keeping it for, 8, 10, 12, 15 years, then I'm going to put as much money as I can down. But it goes back to what we talked about in the last segment. If y'all were here in the last segment, you remember we talked about what you're doing with your money. So let's say a person is using them, you got your money invested, you're getting returns on your money, 8, 10, 12%. Then if you have a low interest rate, you might want to ride that out. So there's 3 ways to go. You're either going to say, all right, I'm not really interested in getting, investing my money. I'm not getting a lot on my money. Most of my money is either in the bank or in savings, and that's what I do. In which case you might say, I want to pay off this car as quick as possible, and then I want to just have no car payment. So I'll put more money down in that scenario. In a second scenario, you're investing your money and you're say, okay, I'm going to use the bank's money at a very low interest rate if it's available, 2-3%, 0%, 0.99%. I'm going to use this money, let my money make more money for me, and then I'm going to put as little as possible down. And then the third case is when you say, okay, well, the third case is probably going to cash or a lease scenario, but that's how you would compare it. It depends on your personal choices, what you're doing with your money, and if you're not into investing and making a lot of money on your money, then you probably want to get that car paid off as quick as possible. In which case, put as much as you could afford to put down so that the loan's out of the way as soon as possible. But it's all personal. All right. I see from IG. Is it a way to get a lease without a down payment? Look, are you kidding me? And that's not an insult to your question. That's just, this is all we do. I know you might have looked at these questions and you said, you might have looked at these lease deals online and you see all of these deals that say, hey, put $3,000 down or the $32.99 do it lease signing. Listen, the lease is custom. You choose the mileage. You choose the structure. So the way we shop, this is all in my book and this is all in my free videos. So as you go through all my free videos, y'all gonna hear all of these things match. Whether you on these lives with me, whether you watching my videos, could we keep hitting the likes on TikTok? Let's shoot the likes up even more. Appreciate y'all. Whether you're looking at the free videos, whether you're on a live or whether you're in the book, you're gonna see they're all the same. So when the way we shop for a lease is we are picking our car and we're going to get our offers with only first month payment out of pocket, 12,000 miles per year. If anyone tells you they can't do that, they're lying to you. Straight up, they are lying to you. And that's why we never put our faith in one dealer. In my book, I have something called the 25-to-5 strategy, where we're connecting with 25 local dealers online in 20 minutes. I know it sounds crazy, but when you got a computer and you know where to go and what to say, and you're using copy and paste messages, you're just letting them know. I'm gonna let 25 dealers know in 20 minutes what I'm looking for, because out of that 25 dealers, maybe 10, 12 are gonna have a car that I'm interested in, depending on the car, maybe 10, 12. And then out of that, I'm looking to get 5 to 7 offers. So it's 25 to 5, 25 connections, 5 offers. And until you start doing this, until you start looking at 5 offers, y'all, you're not going to see how overpriced some dealers are. When you start looking at 5 offers, you're going to see how overpriced some dealers are. And because about 80% from what we see, and I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people around the country, over 1,600 people now in my private group, there is 80% of dealers are going to take a shot at you to the tune of thousands and thousands, but 20% of dealers are going to be the best. They're going to be honest. They're going to make shopping from home easy. They're going to try to beat their competition, and that's the people that we end up purchasing from or leasing from. Is it better to lease or buy when using for a business? It depends on the type of business. The only business that I say it's not better to lease. See, leasing is for people who are not keeping their cars 8 years. Very simple. It's called the 8-year rule. And when you see that what it's about is avoiding the depreciation hit. When you're buying a car, your biggest expense by far is depreciation. If you buy a car today for $30,000, brand new car, what's that car worth in 5 years, y'all? Throw some numbers out there. If you buy a car today, $30,000, brand new car, what's that car going to be worth in 5 years? Throw some numbers out there. Thanks, Ed. I see you, man. Appreciate you. Look, let me see. Let's see what people come in at. Hold on. Hold the question, Dolan. Now, I got my man Dolan working in the background so we can see everybody's question. But hold on, let's go deep on this. It's not going to be worth 17. If you could buy a car for 30,000 and then it's worth 17 in 5 years, that's not going to happen. So let's just and 22. See. All right, this is a deeper problem. Let me hit on this, y'all. Let me hit on this. This is a big problem. All right. Some of you let the last 3 years fool you. And this happened to car dealers too. There are still car dealers out there that think this is pandemic, and they're trying their best to hold on to what was. I used to, during the pandemic, some car salesman said, man, somebody will walk in, I tell them they got to pay $8,000 over sticker, and I got it. I could get them to pay that. They're still trying to hold on to that. They don't realize that over a year ago, their competition started adjusting and started really doing, well, their competition was doing deals from the get-go. So that's them. But let me talk to you. If you bought a car in 2018, 17, 16, 19, 20, early 2020, you could have sold that car and actually either made money. In fact, most people made money. That's gone. Don't let that get you thinking that that you can buy a car and flip a car or break even on a car. That was a once in a lifetime opportunity based on limited inventory, based on a global pandemic, based on a microchip shortage, based on an industry that usually puts 60 million cars a year through the transaction. They didn't have it. And so everything went up $7,000 to $15,000. Everything. Some of you cashed out. If you cashed out during that time, those last 3 years, 2020, 2021, 2022, if you cashed out, you sold something and you made a bunch of money, type $. Just type $, so we can actually see. Because some of you, I was talking to you back then and you cashed out through my advice, and some of you, you just found out on your own, or you found out through somewhere else, and you ended up cashing out and making a bunch of money. If that's you, put $. But that is over. The times we had people buying cars in 2019, overpaying for them, or buying cars and coming back and flipping them and making money on them. You try that now, you're going to lose your shirt. It's over. So I'm here to tell you that the normal depreciation on a car is a 20% loss the first year. 20% loss the first year. So if you pay 30 grand for a car, that car is worth 80% of 30 grand after a year with normal driving. If you're a high mileage driver, it's worth even less than that. If you're a low mileage driver, very low, it's worth a little more than that. But that's standard, 20% going. Second year, you're going to lose probably another 15%. Third year, you're probably going to lose about 12.5%. Probably lose another 12.5% the next year. Then you'll lose 10%. And that's the depreciation curve. That's where we are. So when I asked y'all 3-4 minutes ago, if we bought a $30,000 car, what it would be worth today, the answer is what it would be worth after 5 years. The answer is probably going to be about 12 grand. The answer is probably going to be about 12 grand. And we've gotten so far, I had to go deep on that subject, so I kind of forgot what the original question was and how we got on it. But the name of the game is avoiding depreciation. That was how we got on it. So if you don't know, that's your biggest expense. Your biggest expense is not maintenance. It's depreciation. You're losing thousands and thousands of dollars in depreciation. So when you're deciding, should I lease or purchase? When I tell you the answer is 8 years, if you're not keeping your next car 8 years, you should be leasing it, because if you get a great lease deal, you can't get a regular lease deal. You must get a great lease deal that comes through multiple offers. Then you're going to avoid those big depreciation losses that these owners are taking. Now, at the same time, if you're buying your car to keep 8 years, you should be purchasing it, because once that depreciation levels out, remember what I said, you lose this percent the first year, this percent the second year, but every year later, it starts to get smaller and smaller. Eventually, you're only losing like 5% on the car, and that's the time where you want to keep it. That's when you won. That's the reward. That's where you're like, okay, now I'm winning based on my purchase. Okay. So whenever you're looking at leasing versus purchase, it's a long term. You got to look down the road, and you must ask yourself, how long am I going to keep this car? All right. All right. Let's go. Dolan, next question. Dolan pulling questions in from every platform. Should lease rates increase depending on yearly mileage allotment? So we always shop with 12,000 miles per year. Find your best deal. Shop multiple offers. The way I just laid out in the beginning of the show, I gave you the structure on how we shop offers. If you missed it, watch the replay. Once you get multiple offers, you get 5 to 7 offers, pick your best one, and then you adjust the mileage. Because you want to adjust your mileage once you know you're dealing with an honest dealer. Once you know a dealer has won the bid, they're not going to try to put extra, like if the mileage to go from 12,000 to 15 is $25 a month more, an honest dealer will mark it up $25. You don't have an honest dealer, they'll mark it up $35. They'll mark it up $32. Everything will have a little cushion in there and you don't want that, because cushion is built-in profit that they're not going to disclose. So once you do that, yeah, you pay for additional mileage, but you don't adjust your mileage until you actually find your deal. And yeah, you pay for mileage because you pay for usage. But then again, when you have a great lease, like I'm gonna show y'all a couple great leases throughout the show, people who are getting, ridiculous deals right now, and y'all see, to add a little more mileage to these leases the payment is still pennies. It's ridiculous. Go ahead, Dolan. But you got to shop first and then you adjust. All right, YouTube, looking to buy 4Runner, but they have a $1,500 BS protection package. Okay, they is one dealer. It's not Toyota. Toyota's 4Runner. This gentleman shopping for a Toyota 4Runner, y'all. The dealer that you went to has a $1,500 BS fee. That's why we don't shop and put our faith in one dealer. You know how many 4Runners there are the way you saw them? I don't care what car you're looking at. You could be looking at the most rare G-Wagon. There's at least a couple more in the country. So when it comes to something like a 4Runner, there's thousands of them. No matter what color, you might say, yeah, but I like this color. There's thousands of them, thousands. That's a mass-produced vehicle. So you have to have that in your mind. If you start looking at it like, oh, it's only one of these, oh, they got you, because they're going to make you think that's the only one, and you're not going to see that there's other ones that not only may they not have the BS fees, they actually may be lower priced. And that's what you need to be seeing. We go about 100 miles out when we start our used car sales. In my book, in day 5, I have something called the multiple marketplace strategy. I laid out the 25-to-5 strategy. That's how you shop for new cars and leases. That's a different strategy. When we're shopping for pre-owned cars, we're using the multiple marketplace strategy. Can y'all keep shooting? Can y'all keep tapping the screen? Everybody on TikTok, we got a couple hundred people. This is crazy. Could y'all just keep tapping the screen, shoot the likes up? Let's keep grabbing attention over here on TikTok. Appreciate all of y'all. But when you're shopping for a pre-owned car, we're using the multiple marketplace strategy, where we're looking at every website that has used cars. Some of you may think Car Gurus is the same as cars.com, the same as Auto Trader. They're not. These companies have different contracts, different dealerships, different places that they advertise inventory for. And not only are you shopping those marketplaces, you're shopping the Carvanas, you're shopping the CarMaxes, because occasionally, sometimes they'll have the best price on a particular vehicle. You never know what they're going to do. So if you're not shopping them and looking at all the used car inventory, you are going to miss the lowest price in the market. But once that happens, you'll find a car, and you always verify fees before you leave your house. You never get to a dealership and have fees pop up on you that you didn't know about. That means you didn't give a call and find out the bogus fees beforehand, in which case you let somebody waste your time. So you can't negotiate. That's why I got a video. Some of you may have seen it. We don't negotiate with fake fees. We don't do it. We don't do it. It's a losing battle. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Let's keep it rolling. I'm trying to get through as many as we can today. I want to go through as many questions as fast as possible. How do I know how much equity I have on my lease? It's a very common question, y'all. I mean, we're kind of getting a similar question asked in a different way. Call your bank, find out what you owe, what your payoff is. Go to the marketplaces that I mentioned earlier to get offers. CarMax, Vroom, Vroom's out of business, sorry. CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, AutoNation, and Car Gurus, Sell My Car. That'll get you about 6 offers. Now, whenever you're using those websites, you'll get to a part where it says, is the vehicle owned, leased, or financed? Just put owned, because their websites have something built in where they say they can't buy leases, because they out of all the leasing companies, some have third-party restrictions and some don't. But their websites are not set up to see who has third-party restrictions. They just kind of blocked it, because I'm sure they had thousands and thousands of people, when everybody was making all of this money, calling them saying, "Yo, I want to sell my car to you." And then they looked at the contract and said, "Oh, we can't buy it." So they basically just put a block on their website. But if you don't have a third-party restriction, and there are several leasing companies still that don't have a third-party restriction, meaning you can sell to anyone. But if you do have a third-party restriction, we take those offers that we got from those online car buyers, then we call a local car dealership, we call a local brand, and we speak to the used car manager, and we get a couple offers from used car managers, and we sell direct to them. And we avoid any fees. We don't buy and resell. I can't think of one person. You can leave that up, Dolan. I'll get right to it. You can leave that up. I can't think of one person that has learned from me that actually bought their lease and resold it. It's just you're losing thousands of dollars in taxes and fees. It's just not worth doing when you can sell direct to a dealer. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Let's keep it rolling. I'm loving this. Thank you. Could everybody tag a friend? Everybody's not going to tag a friend, but if you are somebody who tagged, I'm telling you, your friends will be upset if they find out that they went and bought a car a couple months down the road, and they end up overpaying for it, which most people are. And they find me later and you didn't share it. And they like, "Yo, why didn't you share that guy? Yeah, I've been following Deshaun for years. You didn't share his stuff with me." So don't be that. You don't want to have that. It's an awkward conversation. You might as well just tag a friend, think about somebody who you love, and share this wisdom with them. Let's get everybody saving money. All right, we can't find a lease for less than $500 a month. Every time we turn a car in, they increase the lease amount. We love Jeep, but we are now trying to, but they're calling us, telling us the interest rate is high. We have 12,000 miles left. So, I mean, if you can't get a Jeep, so this was somebody that got a Jeep in our private group. Let's see. Hold on. Let me go to my, let's see, who got a Jeep? I got to label these different. No, I got to label these different. Ooh. Jeeps have incredible deals if you know how to shop. Anybody who's interested in leasing a Jeep Grand Cherokee, which kind of Jeep is it, Liz? If it's a Jeep Grand Cherokee, let me see if I can find this. See if I can find this person, because I know that deal was ridiculous. Hold on. I just want to tell you how the difference in shopping and getting multiple offers, because If you already have them calling you and telling you that every time you see, I know that scenario where she just said every time we release from them, the price goes up. That means she's buying and leasing from the same dealer. So in most cases, when you're leasing from the same dealer, every single time you get a deal from them, they're going to bump the payment up a little bit. Very rarely is it going to go down because they've conditioned you for it to go up a little bit every single time. Now, in the case of the pandemic, they had people jumping up $150 a month. But when it comes to Jeep, hold on. What kind of Jeep? Is it a Grand Cherokee or a Wrangler? I know I have somebody in my group that just got a Jeep for it. They saved like $7,000. And that was on a limited. That was on like a $59,000 Jeep. Oh, that's right. I text my friend the deal because she was shopping for a Jeep, and I text her the deal. So let me actually see. Here we go. All right, here we go. That's right. Okay. She got a $45,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee. If y'all can't see this, this is Raphael. She got a $45,000. Now, I don't know how you're equipping your Jeep, but hers is $45,925. She's paying $549 a month, and that's all the money she gave them. She put $540, she gave them $549, and she drove off. So if you are somebody who says, all right, that deal is ridiculous, I'm gonna put down $1,500 more, drop my payment to like probably about $1,500 more out of pocket, will drop that payment to probably $498. And or you might say, Deshaun, I don't even need the limited. I see she got the blacked out one. I don't need all of that. I'll take one that's a little less than that. But this was last month. So, I mean, you must shop offers on these cars. You must shop multiple offers. You must get at least 5 quotes from 5 unrelated dealers, because one thing that will surprise you is Raphael had offers for 600, 700. I remember I helped the lady Christina. She was in our group a year ago, and her best offer, she got like a $52,000 Jeep, white with the black top, and it was like $606 a month. But her highest offer she got from a dealer was like $1,100. So she had some for $1,100. She had some for like $899 or something, and then her best one was $606. So oftentimes, what you think is overpriced is just that one dealer you're dealing with that's trying to take a shot at you. That's why multiple offers from home is the way to go. This is what's in my book. This is what I teach in my videos. If you guys want to have it right in one spot with all my scripts, everything, I don't even want you talking. I really want you typing, because when you talk, you can say something wrong. If you type, you can't mess up. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. If you type, you can't mess up. So 75% off. I just put the book out. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. If you hate car shopping, type hate. Type I hate it. All right. And we're already rated 5 stars on Goodreads. And I want y'all to have everything I teach in one spot. That way you don't have to go through all my videos trying to see which one's for me and which one's for leasing and which one's for selling my lease. And, oh, this one's for a used car. I don't need that. That's you can do that. You can certainly do that. The information's there. But if you want it all in one spot, get your book for 75% off in my TikTok bio, or go to my Instagram bio, click that link, and then click the button that says 75% off, or go to Deshaun'sBook.com. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Yep, you good, Dolan. I want to buy a certified pre-owned car. I want a safe, reliable car. What do you recommend? I'm thinking Subaru. Okay, so when we're trying to find what car we want, get an idea of it, and then we do a research. We do our check. We check to see reliability. There's 3 terms that you got to be familiar with. 2 are going to apply to you if you're a short-term person, which means you're leasing, you're not keeping your cars 8 years, and 2 are going to be important to you if you're a purchaser, if you're buying a car to keep 8, 9, 10 years. If you're leasing, the 2 important terms are initial quality. Initial quality is, what does the data say about this car its first 90 days? The first 90 days the car was in production. Now, the way we do an initial quality check, this we do right before we go and get offers on a car, because we never get offers on a car until we find out if it's a good car. You don't want to be getting offers and then you get a great deal. Now you decide to check to see if it's a good car and you're like, oh, it has electrical problem. No. So this is one of the last steps we do. We do this in step 4 of my process. It's a 7-step process. Step 4 is shopping, not buying. That's our research. That's our test drives. That's our making sure the car is good. So you type in the name of the car, the year, always put the year, 2024 Subaru Impreza, initial quality. Type that into Google and you look at the first page. If there's any red flags, you'll see it. Skim those first couple articles. It shouldn't take you more than 3 minutes. You'll see, oh, click on this. Reliability score is a 70 out of 100. I might pass on that. Initial quality, rather, is a 7 out of 100. We don't want to see anything that gives us concern. Now, once it passes initial quality, now you type in 2024 Subaru Impreza reliability. So initial quality is your first 3 months of the vehicle's lifespan from the time it's new. Reliability is the first 3 years. So if that car is in the shop every couple months or once a year, or for the same issue, if it's having a misfire in the engine, you'll see it in the reliability ratings. For somebody like you, Tina, you want to look at both the reliability and then you want to type in 2024, whatever year you're buying, 2021 Subaru Impreza longevity. And you want to do the same thing. You'll see if the transmission's known to go, it'll tell you right up top. These cars are known to last 150 to 200,000 miles, 200,000 to 300,000 miles. These cars, many owners report transmission issues around 80,000 miles. That quick 5-minute check will avoid thousands and thousands of dollars in bills and headaches. Thank you, Blood. Said you looking younger. I appreciate it. So that's how you do. But also, don't think you got to buy it. You can keep that up, Dolan. All right, we're pulling questions from everywhere. Instagram, TikTok. So make sure y'all are typing your questions. We're on 4 platforms. And I got my man Dolan pulling the questions in. Don't think that a certified pre-owned car is better than a non-certified car with a good history. A good history, non-certified, could be better than a car that's certified without the history. See, I'd rather a non-certified car with a great title, which means it's not a salvage title, it's not a rental, it's not a, funny title. Great service records, which means I can see that the previous owner or owners regularly took care of the car. That's the biggest indicator that car was taken care of, is service records. And then a good accident report. I take that over over a certified car. When I pull the Carfax, I don't see many service records. So don't think because you're getting a certified car, if you don't do your due diligence, you could still lose. You want to look for those 3 things: title, service records, accident history. That's the biggest indicators. It's no guarantees, but those are the indicators. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Can you explain the worksheet on the multiple marketplace strategy? I signed up for the 5 sites, but confused when there are multiple cars on each site. If I pick high and low on each site, the sheet will have like 50 cars. Correct. I'm looking to actually narrow down. First thing we do. So this is somebody who obviously has my book and she's asking about this strategy. So look, when we're looking at used cars, we're on every marketplace. So I want you to think about like Amazon.com, Walmart.com. Let's replace the car with a TV. It's no way if you're looking for a TV and you're trying to get your best deal and pay the lowest price, you're not going to check all the online websites. Now, some people might check only Amazon. Though that's not as good as checking Amazon and checking Walmart.com and checking BestBuy.com. See, I know Best Buy is overpriced most of the time. You get what I'm saying? But that's how I feel about CarMax. But I still got to check them because they're overpriced most of the time, not all the time. And every now and then you see the one that was surprising, they'll have the best offer right there. So that's why I'm always going to check all the marketplaces, CarMax, Driveway. And then we're going to open up your Auto Trader, Cars.com, Car Gurus, at Carfax.com. There's 8 used car marketplaces. So we open them up, and now we put in our criteria. What are we looking for? Now, we don't look to buy. I don't want you buying the first day when you open those marketplaces. Here's the goal when we open the marketplaces. Who remembers what I said about market value? If you were on the last broadcast, or if you heard me talk about it, what are we interested in when it comes to market value? Who remembers? And let me see, we might have a whole fresh crowd on here. We got a couple hundred people. We got like 400 people on here between all the platforms. So I don't want to assume, but let's see if anybody has heard from any of my other broadcasts. When it comes to market value, what are we interested in? All right, we might have a whole fresh crowd. Below market value, y'all. So how do we buy below market value? First thing we need to do is see what is market value. Yep, I see you, Ronald. The first thing we need to do is see what is market value. So your goal when you open up those marketplaces, and this is what I teach you in my book. First things first, we sort all our prices high to low. We create accounts because we want to be alerted of any new inventory. Because once I know what the market value is, I know where the low side of the market is. So you might look and say, we sort all the prices, low to high, low to high, low to high. Now I can see all the low prices are around 22, 23, 20, 22, 23, 24, but then it goes up to 25, 26, 27. That's market value, that middle. And then you got the it's always going to be cars that are priced higher, above market value. Now, when we look at the low side, here's what we're able to say. Here's what you have to know. Be prepared for it. The low side of the market is where all the crap is. So you're going to see bad titles. You're going to see accidents. You're going to see frame damage. That's fine, because you're looking through all of that, and then you're going to find that diamond, and you know what the low side of the market is. Here's what's also very important. You might see a car. You might say, I want a black car or a white or silver. You see a car that has all the boxes I talked about, which we checked. Title great, service records great, accidents great. It's the wrong color though. Dang, I don't want blue. That's an indicator. I don't care if it's blue. I'm not going to buy it because it's not my color, but it's showing me where the low side of the market is. That's a deal. If somebody wanted a navy blue car, that's a daggone below market deal. So we have to find out what the market is. Then we find out where the low side of the market is. And then we have on alert so that every car that pops up, it comes to our email immediately. As soon as they list it, boom, we get the email. And we know the low side of the market. So when we look at that car and we're like, oh, wait, this is $22,000 and it's my color. All right, you open it. Ah, shoot, 2 accidents. No problem. Now you get another one a couple days later. Oh, shoot. All right, black. Oh, $22,500. Good price. You open that thing. Wait, service records look great. Oh, accidents look great. Now we go to verify if there are any bogus fees. We do one more step. We pull the window sticker because I want to know what's in that car. I want to know what the original equipment what is the actual original price. Once I find that out, I got to get there and get that car. So that's how you do it. You have to. It's a narrowing down. You're looking at all this inventory. I'm going to narrow it down to the best, and then I'm going to snag my deal. And you're at home. You're not in these dealers where you're at home. Okay, and that's all in the book. All right, let's go. Oh, how do I get your book? It's in my TikTok bio. Welcome to all the new people that jumped on the broadcast. It's in my TikTok bio. It's in my Instagram bio. Click the picture of me, and then you'll see a website there. And then there, click the button. You won't leave the broadcast. So some people are like, Deshaun, I don't want to get the book yet. I don't want to miss the broadcast. Well, the book is only on sale, 75% off for 30 minutes. So click the link. You won't leave. You'll still be able to hear everything we're talking about. You can come back and keep asking questions, but don't miss the 75% off. Click that website, or if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you can go to Deshaun'sBook.com, or you can scan the QR code if you're watching on TV. Go ahead, Dolan. Oh, matter of fact, let me go to TikTok because Dolan, you're not on TikTok. Can you come with me to buy a car? Not necessary, Danielle. Thank you. I appreciate it though. Listen, that's the old way. So you think that, you think that we're somehow going back and forth with dealers and hey, I kind of need somebody. That's like when I was selling cars and people thought bringing their uncle in was going to help them. No, we don't shop like that. So you don't need any. The reason why, listen, I'm gonna share the reason why you see people like this who, well, I just showed you Raphael. How she get that deal? She's from home. See, you put yourself in a vulnerable position where you go in. Some of you, I mean, be honest. If you ever felt like, you were being taken advantage of, or you were getting talked down to at a dealership, type of, type of one. If you feel like, I'm outmatched, or if you're not a good negotiator, how about that? Who on here is not a good negotiator? Type of one in the chat. All of these things I want you to know. That's why the old way has worked for dealers. I was there for 14 years. It's all about psychology and negotiation and confrontation and being comfortable with confrontation, which most car salespeople are. Most people, unless you're like in that business, you're not. So you want to get it over with as quick as possible. Someone who's fighting for their money doesn't mind being uncomfortable with you for an hour or 2 hours or a couple days or weeks. So you have to now take away that power, put yourself in a different position where you're in control, and that's in your house. That's why you don't need me. You need if you use what I teach. If you do it your old way, then yeah, you need somebody, and you're still not going to get your best offer, because your best offer comes from shopping multiple dealers. But once you start shopping multiple dealers, you'll see they'll be jumping through hoops, and you'll feel like, dang, I got the power now. That's the name of the game. Go ahead. I'm going to do another one from TikTok, because I know, Dolan, you're not pulling. We'll get back to IG. We got all questions coming from everywhere. I just don't want to leave TikTok out. Would you recommend buying a car outright, cash, no note? Yeah, we talked about that in the last hour. If you're not invested, if you're not investing your money and the bank's money, if the bank, look, it depends on if you're investing your money. If you're and you're making money on your money, those people don't usually put their cash in cars. They want to keep their money making money. But if you're not really investing, then you probably want to just pay cash, get the transaction out the way. And if you're investing your money and you can use the bank's money at a low interest, you have to always check if the car you're shopping for has a low interest rate on it, y'all. Some of these cars have 0%, 0.99%. This is like a finance rebate. It's like the bank saying, here, use our money for free, and we will let, like, you cannot compete. It's no point in going to your credit union. No one can beat it. 0.99%, 1.99. When you can use the bank's money that cheap, you can keep your money making money, and you can keep your money in your bank account. A lot of times in this economy, people want to have their money available. So it's all personal though. If you notice, unless we're talking about leasing or buying, I'm not really going to say something you did was wrong, because it's a case-by-case basis. I'm more about, let me show you the options based on different people, and you pick who you are and you do that. The only thing that I'll tell somebody in a lot of cases they're wrong, almost all, is the leasing versus buying scenario all day. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Next question, bring it in from either Instagram, TikTok, somewhere. All right, Tina, I want to buy a car and pay it in full, but don't want them to take advantage of me, because if it is, okay, that's kind of a similar question, Tina. We've been talking about that like the whole broadcast. So, like, that's how to shop is kind of what we're talking about. So let's go to the next one and just, stay on the broadcast. The continual theme is nobody on here who's using what they learn from me, what they're learning in this live, what I have on my videos, what's in my book. No one should be worried about being taken advantage of because you're not shopping the old way anymore. Alejandro, I have equity in my current lease. If I want to purchase the vehicle, could the dealer subtract that equity from the purchase price on the lease contract if I decide to buy it? No. If how do you know you have equity? Your equity is based on someone offering to buy the vehicle from you. So if you listen, equity is based on offers, nothing else. Kelly's Blue Book telling you your car is worth 20 grand is not an offer. Kelly's Blue Book instant cash offer, where they actually have a local dealer or a couple local dealers who will make you an offer, cash, come pick up, hey, bring your car in, we'll give you a check. That's how you assess equity. We do this in step 2. Once we decide whether we're leasing versus buying, which is the foundation of our car deal, you can't get a great deal if you purchased, but you should have leased. Can't get a great deal. It's over. You're on the wrong foundation. You can't get a great deal if you leased and you should have purchased, because the long-term wins you would have gotten, you now lose. Once you move past that, your next step is equity assessment. Look at my current car. If I had, now some of you, Deshaun, I don't have a current car, then you skip it. But if you have a current car, a lease, or a car you own, or a car you're paying for, you're financing, equity assessment, which means I'm going to call my bank and I'm going to find out what my payoff is. Then I'm going to go to the actual online buyers and get offers. And then I'm going to see, are my offers, is my highest offer higher than my payoff? That's equity. But there's no other way. So if you were to purchase that vehicle, no one can take your equity, because you know this is what my car would have sold for, but I'm going to buy it for the price they say I could buy it for. So if that's $4,000 less, great. But also be aware, not everyone is willing to pay you that. That was just one buyer who beat everybody else. So you know, that's why I'm not into buying leases, because I'm not into buying your car, because all you're doing when you're buying your lease is buying a used car. That's it. That's all you're doing. All right. Hold on. I'm 20,000 miles over on my lease. Should I get a new lease or purchase my current vehicle? All right. This is very important, y'all. Watch this. I'm about to save. Look, y'all know I get excited about saving you money. If you listen, you're going to be writing me and telling me for years about all the money that you save. This is a big warning. When it comes to purchasing leases that are over mileage, some of you, in an effort to avoid a $2,500 mileage penalty, that was your fault. Okay, I'm not going to beat you up, but you drove the mileage. You contracted for this mileage. You drove more. That could happen through negligence, or it could happen through a real lifestyle change. I used to work 10 minutes from home. Now I work 40 minutes from home. It happens. And it doesn't matter. We're going to pay for what we use. It's okay, especially if you got a great lease deal. I'll pay for what I use. But here's the math about this. Going over your lease mileage is never a reason to buy your vehicle. Here's why. From the day you lease a vehicle, they tell you your lease, you could buy it. The purchase value, the residual value at the end is, let's say, $18,000. Let's just say that. Most times throughout history, the car wasn't worth that. When you finished with that lease, the car wasn't worth that. Deshaun, what do you mean the car wasn't worth that? A comparable used car, similar, same year, similar mileage, you could have found for less. That was throughout history. So we never purchase leases without finding out, is the purchase price that they're even offering me, if I had the right mileage, we ain't talking about going over yet. If I had the right mileage, was that a good price? Many times it was not. Now, when you go over the mileage by 20,000 miles, does the purchase price change? Do they give you a new purchase price because you went 20,000 miles over? Do they say, hey, you know what? It was 18, but because you put all those miles on it, it ain't worth 18 no more. You don't get, we'll give it to you for 15. They don't do that, which means you are actually overpaying, because you're paying the same price that they said you should. If your car had 36,000 miles, you could buy it for 18. Your car got 56,000 miles and you're about to go pay 18. That's why going over mileage is never a reason to buy your lease. It's even more reason not to. The car, it makes the car even more not worth what that buyout price is. So the best thing for you to do is to assess the penalty. First thing to do is see, you're going to compare three things. Can I sell this car? Using the equity assessment, we talked about that. Either watch the replay, get my book at 75% off in my Instagram bio, go to step 2, which is the equity assessment, get my book in the TikTok bio, click the link and get it for 75% off. It's normally $97. You could be reading it in a matter of minutes. And then what you do is you go to day 2 and you do the equity assessment and you see, all right, how much could I sell this for? If I'm going to lose, now I got to see what's the smallest loss I could take. Now you might be able to sell it to a buyer. Let's say CarMax wants to buy it, they win the bid, and you might only have to come up with $1,000. I'm just making a number up. Sell it to them, pay the difference. It's better than a mileage penalty. It's better than the penalty you're going to hit. Now, second scenario is you actually see, if I was to replace the car now, what's the mileage penalty and the payment penalty? Because what most people don't understand is you have payments remaining. And some of them, so it's so many lies that's been told. I feel bad for y'all because you don't know from which angle is what. Because somebody you might say, oh, well, I went in with, I had 3 payments left. I had 6 payments left and the dealership took care of them. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. In 99% of the cases, those 6 payments you had got rolled over to the next car deal. So those payments didn't disappear. So what you're going to do is you're going to compare. If I sell the car to the highest bidder, what's my penalty? Or maybe I went over on my Jeep mileage. This was back when the market was real high. I was over about 6,000 miles and I still sold my Jeep for $8,900. Again, everything in the world, every car in the United States was worth 7 to 15 grand more. So just because you're over miles don't mean you can't sell that car and close the gap. Second thing you want to compare is if I get out now, what would the mileage and payment penalty be? Third thing is if I just drive and go to the end, what would the mileage penalty be without the payments? Because if you got 3 payments left of $500, you got your mileage penalty and you got $500 in pay, $1,500 in payments to account for. So this all is structured. Very important. This is why some people say, Deshaun, like, man, I had a girl say, listen, you make things complex. This is a girl that y'all remember, I don't know, some people's on here. She gave a horrible advice about leasing, and we featured her on the show. I don't know if she ended up seeing the video or not, but she wasn't too happy. Naturally, I wasn't attacking her personally. I was just attacking what she was saying about leasing. Her video was incorrect. And she said, you know, you make things a little complex. She's a car saleswoman. She's in the business. And I said, listen, you've been taught, young lady, that this thing is supposed to be this simple. Why do you think people out here and they hate it? It's simple, but you're losing money. See, if you just take it a little more serious, I don't need you to treat it like a house purchase, but it's the second most expensive purchase behind a house. Let's treat it like that, and you'll save the money. But if you're not willing to treat this, every time you purchase a car, you should be treating it like a small house. I'm gonna take this finances seriously. I'm gonna have me a strategy. I want to make sure I keep the most money possible. And when it comes to leasing, you must structure your lease right, or you're not gonna enjoy leasing, and you're gonna have these penalties that you shouldn't have had unless you had a lifestyle change. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Let's keep the questions rolling. I had a few on TikTok, and what you're gonna find is somebody's gonna ask the same question you have. So even if I don't ask you, literally some of you are gonna be like, oh, that's the same question I had. All right, so is it true if you end your lease early by having the dealer buy out your car because they need inventory, you always lose? No, if somebody buys your car, that's a clean transaction. Just make sure that you know what you're gonna walk with. No, you could sell your car a year into the lease. If you do your equity assessment and you see, man, I could get out or I could break even, clean transaction. There's no losing in that. Unless you put a bunch of money down, which is why we tip. If you put 4, 5, 6 grand down on your lease because you wanted to lower that payment to a comfortable zone, then you don't really want to end that lease early. All right. YouTube. Do you think there's another shift in the new car market that will bring the price back down to a normal? I'm sorry to tell you, prices is great. Felicia, when it's just they're not good for you. You gotta get your skills up. I'm gonna show you something. I was helping I have a car buying school. Besides my book, I have a video school where I coach people around the country. I started that school because people were out here getting killed in 2021. November 2021, I opened the school, online school. Felicia was our first graduate, middle of the pandemic, January. She got a BMW X1. She saved $1,950 off the price, a $1,950 discount. And that was the first indicator that I don't believe what the heck going on out there. Now, for those of you who, if you use what I'm teaching you, deals are everywhere. Deals are everywhere. Look at what I'm showing you. You saw Greg, $56,000 vehicle. His lease payment is $527 a month. Look at the date. Look at Taupe, 2023 BMW, $54,000 vehicle, $690 a month. Look at Danielle. Look at the date. Look, $44,000 Audi, $550 a month. I hadn't seen. Look, $2,086 discount on a Toyota Camry. We've been making deals. If anybody's out, look, if you're gonna be in my world, and I do want you in my world, don't believe what people. There's two things you don't believe. Don't believe what one dealer says, and don't believe what anyone says about deals, because they'll tell you in a minute, oh, it's so hard out there. Now you don't realize. Here's a bad thing about that. You don't realize when you go into dealers shopping that way with that energy, they hear all of that. Hey man, man, everything's so overpriced. They're gonna use that against you. Yeah, man, I just came from a dealer, man. I got a quote on that car, man. It was too expensive. Well, how much did they quote you? Man, they said it was like $700 a month. Oh, really? Now I might know you. Now the best deal in that car might be $5, but you might have walked into a dealer who like, man, what if I could sell you a little more than that? See, the words you're saying, you don't realize how they're hurting you. That's why you use my stuff. You don't even talk. You don't talk to salespeople. See, I had to set this up in a way it's truly online, because the more you talk, if you like Deshaun, I don't even know I'm saying stuff that's hurting me. I know you don't. But that's my job to tell you. I was in the car business for 14 years. The information that you are going in, the energy you're going in saying, oh man, I need a car this week, hurting you. Desperate vibes. Can't say no for long. Maybe you could say no today, but not for long. That's all the stuff you tell. That's what car salespeople are trained for. They're trained to pick up those little words you say that you think are harmless. Man, I've been shopping for a week. All of this stuff is hurting you. And so when you stop talking and just sit at your computer and do the things that I'm telling you to do, you're going to find out deals are everywhere and and you're in control. But if you're going in there thinking you could actually negotiate or say or just get a car deal the old way, everything's going to seem overpriced. So RA Cave, I'm sorry to tell you, deals been out here, man. For those who know how to get deals, they're everywhere. For those who don't know how to get deals, they're nowhere. Go ahead, Dolan. Yeah, I agree. Let's go to TikTok again. Hold on. We're going to keep TikTok. 2024 Ed, looking to trade in for 2024 Explorer. So here's the thing. You're trading in a deep depreciation cycle. You've lost a ton of money in depreciation. You're still in the deepest depreciation cycle, which is that first 1 to 6 years. You're losing 20% the first year, 15%, and then you're looking to trade it in. You should be leasing. So if you're willing to hear more about that, I can't help you do something the wrong way, because you're going to look at me in 3 years and say, yeah, I bought the car. Now I'm looking to trade that in. Dag, Deshaun, why it seem like I have so much negative equity? You have negative equity because you're a short-term person. You're not keeping your cars 8 years. You're not outliving the depreciation cycle, but yet you're not getting aggressive leases. So you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars to purchase these cars. You're losing it when you resell them back to the dealership. And then you're doing it all over again, over and over again. Meanwhile, somebody who's leasing these same vehicles, a Ford Edge, they were probably paying $400 a month, no money down. You've paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars into that Ford Edge. Now you're looking to try to get that back and do it again with a Ford Explorer. Person, you should be leasing these cars. If you're not buying your cars to pay them off and outlive that depreciation, which is going to be heavy the first 6-7 years, I have something in my book and everything in my videos. I call it the 8-year rule. If you're not buying a car to get to that stage, that level of ownership, you should not be shopping for purchases. You should be shopping for aggressive leases. And then you're going to see, wow, now that my deal is on the right foundation, I'm actually saving thousands and thousands. You'll be able to see it. I don't think there's anything more liberating than a person who's been purchasing for years, putting all this money into these cars, who turns around and starts leasing. Like, you're going to see all that money you were putting in the cars in your bank account now, and you're going to be amazed. When should I look for a vehicle? Before leaving a job or after starting a new one? If it's the same, yeah, probably before leaving a job if you're going to look to get a loan for it. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next question in. TikTok, Instagram. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Send it in. All right, Facebook. My lease is due in December. I don't understand how to sell the lease. Just watch that part over, Peggy. I don't want to continue because there's people who've been on here. I don't want to listen. I know that there's only about 25 questions, 30 questions total that all of you could have. That's why you could sit on the broadcast and you could benefit, because someone else is going to ask the same question you have. But what I can't do is answer the same questions over and over again, because now I'm just doing a disservice to the people who've been on. So what I would tell you is watch wherever platform you're on. As soon as we end the show, we post the replay. So watch the replay and get the actual and get that part of the strategy, because I want to make sure the show's quality. I don't want people listening saying, "Dad, he answered that question 3 times." Okay, go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one in. Looking at buying a new car that just got redesigned. Okay. Should I wait to see how the new model rates before buying? Definitely. Oh, that's a great question. Who's heard that you should not buy a car the first year it comes out? If you've heard that you should not buy a car the first year it comes out, type of me in the comments. Y'all killing the likes on TikTok. Thank you so much. Y'all just keep tapping the screen as you come in. If you got time, every couple minutes, just throw some taps in there. Keep shooting those likes up. I appreciate everybody who's doing that. And I appreciate all the sharers. All right, so you see, got a bunch of people from every platform who's heard. Look, he's speaking facts. Make sure y'all lock in and invest in his resources. I appreciate you. Thank you, Linda. So now, a car being redesigned, thank you, LA. A car being redesigned is not the same as new engine, new transmission, new steering system. Redesigned could be the same components, in which case, Janine, I'm not worried about a car that's been redesigned that has the same components. But if it has new technology, new things they're experimenting with, certainly you might want to give it a year before you actually you don't want to be the guinea pig. You don't want to be the guinea pig because you're rolling the dice. Could be great, could be horrible. Okay, great question. Go ahead. Next question, Dolan. Welcome to all the new people. If y'all don't know, this is Car Shopping Secrets. This is what I'm thinking about calling this show, because it's really, the things I teach aren't secrets, but they're not well known. And I would say I probably only know half of them because of being inside the car business. So I guess those would be secrets. And then the other half are just really learning finance and learning numbers and learning, the numbers. So those are not necessarily secrets, but yeah. I'm doing this live show, and I will always, for the time period, we're promoting my new book. So my new book is a digital book. It's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. So if you're like, Deshaun, that's me, then this book is for you. 7 steps. It's called 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's a digital book because I'm going to update it every time I need to. For instance, Y'all used to hear, some of you may know in my videos, one of the people who used to bid on our cars was Vroom. One of the people who used to be a marketplace we would shop with is Vroom. Vroom went out of business a few months ago. I had to have with a digital book. All I did, we went in, me and my team, we snatched Vroom out, boom. Everybody who had the book didn't have to go there and say, "Dag, Deshaun, you sending us the Vroom," and they're out of business. We updated it, the file got updated, and we're able to keep it fresh. That's why the digital book is the way to go. So, but I'm doing 75% off as part of our official launch. And so it's normally $97. You can go to my TikTok bio and click that website. You won't leave the broadcast. You won't leave the show. Same thing on Instagram. My Instagram bio, you won't leave the show. Get your book. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, you can go to deshaunsbook.com, or you can scan the QR code and get your 75% off. But you'll see there's a timer. Once that 30 minutes is over, book goes back to $97. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one in. All right. This is IG, Instagram. Should you buy extended coverage on a used car? Great question. So if the car has, listen, Diva asks, should you purchase an extended warranty when you buy a used car? Now this goes for a new car too. Even though you have a warranty when you buy a new car, some people like to extend it if they're going to keep it. If you're going to keep it not 7. If you're going to keep it 8 to 10 years, some people tend to buy a warranty even longer than the factory. It depends on how expensive the car is to maintain. When something breaks. When something breaks, how expensive is it to fix? And how likely is it that something is going to break? So if you use that test I told you all about earlier in the show, where we go to Google and we do our quality check on the car, one of the steps we do to make sure to decide if we're going to get an extended warranty is we type in the year, the make, the model, repair cost. That's also in the book. We do this in day 6 because this is in the paperwork and protection step. If you see that your vehicle is high on the expense list in terms of when something goes wrong, it's expensive to fix, then the warranty is usually a great investment. But you want to get it from a dealership. Call a couple, get a price from the one that you're shopping with, get a price from a couple local dealers just to make sure that they're not overcharging you for it. But if you see your car is very low on the repair list of expense and the likelihood of things going wrong, like it's not a car that's known for things to go wrong, and when it does go wrong, it's not expensive, then a warranty is not going to really pay for itself. You go spend $3,000 on a warranty, you're probably not going to get that money back in the claims you put in. So it has everything to do. That's what you do to decide whether a warranty is worth it or not. You must know if this is a Mercedes-Benz and when something breaks, it's $2,000 or it's $1,000 minimum, then yeah, I'm going to get that extended warranty from a dealership, not from any of these side companies that go out of business every year. All right, go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next one in. All right, keep typing your questions, y'all. We on here for a couple more minutes. All right, yeah, I'm loving this. And listen, and we want to keep the show fast-paced. Our goal is to make sure that every time we do a show, now y'all gonna see it's certain things that I want to go deep with on it. I'm gonna do something soon called where I show y'all like this. It's a couple subjects that y'all see when we do a show. You're gonna be like, oh great, this ain't the time for questions. This is the time for me to just sit here and look at this. And I'll be asking y'all questions because y'all gonna be participating. But if we're doing straight up Q&A like this, we want to get through as many as possible. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot it up. Deshaun, can you just go with me? All right, Dolan, you playing. Why you put that question up? Go ahead, next question, Dolan. Crystal, you didn't see somebody ask that same question. And what I said was, when you learn to shop from home, you don't need anyone with you. That's like saying, Deshaun, can you come to my house and teach me to shop from home? We shop from home. And we don't spend more than 30 minutes in a car dealership. This stuff sounds, if you just jumped on the broadcast and you don't know me, you haven't used my stuff before, it sounds crazy. Deshaun, how are you getting your best offer? But we have thousands of people doing it. They're using my system for shopping on home. The things I'm talking about in this live, The things I talk about in my social media videos, they took it and they're using it. The things that's in my book, they're using it. They're not deviating from it because it's an oil and water. My system and the way I'm teaching y'all to shop is nothing like the old way you've been shopping. It is oil and water. You can't mix them. You're either going to do it my way and try it and then say, Deshaun, I love your way. I'm never doing it any other way. Or you're going to do it that old way and try to mix little things from my system, which is still the old way. So when I say follow it to the T, you're going to win following it to the T. And in which case you don't need anyone with you because you're at home and you're making your deals before you ever leave your house, whether you're leasing, purchasing, getting a new car, used car, that deal is made before you ever leave. If you're going to see a used car, you're not going there hoping to get money off. Now we do ask for a couple hundred off when we're there, but we don't leave our house unless we know it's already the lowest deal in the market. So even if they say no after I test drive that used car, he might say, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. And when you got the lowest deal in the market, you got honest people. So you get out there and you're like, hey, listen, I love the car. I just test drove it. I'm ready to make a deal. Take off another $750. And again, you don't get obnoxious because when you know the market, see, when you don't know the market, you insult the lowest price people. And you don't know because you think there's always more. No, it doesn't matter if he's the lowest in the market. There's more. And listen, and you end up walking away from the best deal in the market. But when you know the market, like you're going to know using what we talked about, you get out there, you say, listen, it's another $750. I'll take it right now. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I got that car priced to sell. It's the lowest in the market. And you're going to say, yeah, I know. Let's go. And sometimes they'll say, listen, just because you came out so quick. And a lot of times they'll say, look, I just posted it too. See, because remember what I told y'all earlier about the alerts we get. So a lot of times we're one of the first ones seeing the car and it hasn't had a chance to have a lot of people see it yet. But you get out there, you ask for another $750. Maybe they split it with you, you win. If they don't, if they're like, man, listen, it's the lowest price in the market. I know it is. You don't know. Dealers use a tool called V-Auto, so they know when their used car is the lowest price in the market. So, and if they say, look, I don't have any more money to give you, no problem. Let's go. You got a deal. It is the lowest price in the market. I just wanted to ask, either way we win. But that's the only time we're talking about numbers is on a used car. And before we ever get there, we already know it's a deal. You get what I'm saying? Go ahead, Dolan, shoot it up. All right, this is Facebook. I'm on my third Land Rover lease, and it's ending August at the 39th of the month. I'm guessing you meant 29th. I purchased your book and briefly read it and learned I could sell it to CarMax, being the most equity back. Okay, perfect. Following the steps. I have 12,000 miles per year. Thank you for purchasing the book, by the way, Crystal. I love it. I have 12,000 miles per year, and I'm currently at 28,000. Great. I will call Chase Land Rover. Chase doesn't have a third-party restriction unless they changed it. Don't quote me, but Mazda's leases are done through Chase, and I've helped so many people sell. My mother. My mother had a Mazda lease. My wife's best friend. So if Chase still doesn't have a third-party restriction, then you can literally just cash out. You don't have to take third-party restriction part of the book that I say. Go ahead. I'm gonna keep reading. To see if I have end of the lease clause. But if I don't, how do I sell to CarMax without being dishonest about owning it? That's fine. You won't. All you do is call them and set the appointment. They're gonna do all the details. They don't expect people to know what you know. They don't expect people to know the difference between a third-party restriction and a lease that doesn't have one. So they're working with, unfortunately, they're working with unaware buyers. So most of the time they don't want to waste their time. But when you set your appointment up with CarMax and you tell them there's no third-party restriction, you'll be fine. Now, what you're going to have to do is if you want to replace it, Crystal, you're going to move into the next step of the book, which is shopping for your lease, because you're now going to time your transactions. You're not going to just go sell a CarMax unless you have a backup car. You don't need a car right away. Some of you like Deshaun, I need to sell my old car and I need the new car the same day, or, that's fine. I teach you in the book how to time the transaction, because the thing about these buyers, CarMax, they'll be there for you, Crystal, 30 days from now. So when you go shop for your lease or shop your market and get your best lead, CarMax will be right there waiting for you, still waiting to pay the check, still waiting to cut you that check. And you just go there, pick up your check. I've been there twice. Once for myself, I sold my Jeep to CarMax, they won the bid. And then I sold my mother's lease to CarMax and went down there again with her and my father. And but CarMax doesn't always win the bid. Sometimes it's Carvana, sometimes it's AutoNation, but it's easy, Crystal. Just keep following the steps in the book, and there's nothing else to think about. Just you're gonna see it's super simple. Sometimes people are like, yo, this seems too, am I gonna mess something up? This looks like I'm about to make $3,000. And they like, no, you just go there and they're like, okay, they do the paperwork, they write up the purchase order, they bring you a check, here you go, thank you so much. It's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Krista. I appreciate you too. Let's go. Oh man. Let's go. Okay, look. All right, we got a lot of people who got the book on here. Thank you guys so much. Bought the book last week, shop Saturday, sent initial emails yesterday, and receiving several quotes today. Come on. I'm loving it. Everybody up. Look, y'all, you hear what the people are saying, and this is good. If this is the way it's going to be going, I'm loving this. That was a surprise. It's good to see people who have the book using it and winning with it. So definitely, if you haven't got the book and you're like, yo, what book are they talking about? It's my new digital book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. You can get it in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio for 75% off for the next 30 minutes. Click the link, click that website, and then click the button that says my new book, 75% off. But you got to get there before the timer runs out, or once the timer runs out, it's $97, which is still great. If you're on Facebook or Instagram, go to deshawnsbook.com or scan the QR code if you're like watching on a television. All right, go ahead. We got a couple more and then we'll wrap. Go ahead, Dolan. If I get a RAV4 at MSRP with no add-ons, is that so? I'm gonna cut you off right there. This is YouTube. Question from YouTube. You don't dictate what a good deal is. See, that's where we lose. See, if someone tries to dictate, all right, let me show you right here. Let me show you Kimberly. You don't know what the bottom is on a vehicle. When you are shopping for a new car or a lease, if you set out to buy, you're not used, y'all know we jumping from subject to subject depending on the question. We're talking about new cars and leases. When you go out there, you have no idea what the bottom price is. You can't say, oh, if it's MSRP, I get a good deal. If it's invoice price, I get a good deal. You don't know what rebates they have. You have no idea. I'm gonna show you Kimberly. This is why it's dangerous. Now I'm gonna use her as an extreme because on her, look, this is Kimberly. She's in my private group. She saved $20,000 off of her Maserati. $20,700 to be exact. As she was getting her offers, she had a couple dealers that wanted to take off $5,000. A couple dealers wanted to take off $7,000. Now she's probably getting excited. Oh, look, $7,000 off. Oh my God, this is amazing. Sitting at home, just watching these offers come through her computer. $12,000. Oh, this is good. Now, had she decided, you know what? $12,000, that got to be the best. She didn't I say, we had a big saying in my group. It's called trust the process. Trust the process means get 5 to 7 offers. 5 to 7 offers. She ends up getting an $86,961 Maserati for $66,000. Some of you, your best deal is going to be $7,000 off. Some of you, your best deal is going to be $3,000. Some of you might be shopping for vehicles that are so rare and exclusive. People are paying $100,000 over, like you're shopping for a Ferrari. Ferrari, where, or a Lambo, they might have a car where they're charging $100,000 over asking price, and that people are paying it. Some people are paying it, and then you find a deal, and the lowest bidder is sticker price, which means no problem. How much better did you do than the people who overpaid? But until you get the offers, you don't know what the bottom of the market is. I will never assume it. I've been doing this since 2006. Deals are going to be different. I will never assume. When I go in and you can't take one deal and bring it to the next. Yo, I saved 20 grand on the Maserati. So next time I buy a BMW, I'm looking to save 20 grand on that too. No. Each vehicle has its own lowest price in the market, And that's how you shop individually. Go ahead, shoot it up, Dolan. Next question. Wait, let me just leave that up. Let me just see if there's a second part of Ed's question. Can you throw that back up? I didn't know if it was a second part to his question. If not, that's okay. That was the biggest thing. Before you even go to the second part of the question, Ed, just make sure that you're not assuming what the bottom of the market is. You need to be getting at least 5 to 7 offers from independent dealers, and you're fine. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. It's okay. All right. I'm loving this, man. This is wonderful. Facebook. This is from Facebook. I bought 20 plus vehicles in my lifetime. Okay. I did it your way the last time I bought, and I never left home until I went to pick up my truck. I finally did it right. Listen, Mike, you have no idea, because when you said I bought 20 plus vehicles, right? I was in my mind, I always say, listen, you're not an expert because you bought 30 cars. You're an expert when you have seen all these transactions, but you nailed it, man. You came in straight. Like, to say that I bought 20, listen to that, y'all. This is a person who has probably bought more vehicles than most people on this call. I'm sure he wasn't lazy with it. I'm sure he was going in doing his best, but he looks at the new way that we shop from home, not going to get you not leaving your house until you know I'm going to pick up my car. And he's like, I finally did it right. My man, congratulations. And look, now you tell everybody, tell your family. Now you could teach your kids, you could teach everybody in your house. This is how we car shop, y'all. So the beautiful thing is, when you got teenagers and you got young children, y'all, that never bought their car, if you teach them how this is how you buy your first car, they are never tainted with the bad advice and the old 20, 30, 40-year advice, the way people are shopping. So thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. That was a good one, Dolan. Go ahead, next one. Let's do a couple more, then we'll wrap. I'm having a good time. CEO, how do I purchase the book? It's in my TikTok bio. You won't leave the broadcast. It's a digital book, so it'll be in your inbox in literally seconds. Go to my TikTok bio, click the link, or go to my Instagram bio, click that website. You won't leave the broad, and just click the button that says 75% off, new book, and get your book. You'll have it immediately. If you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, go to deshaunsbook.com and or scan the QR code. This is another question from Facebook, and then we'll go back to TikTok. What do you think about the 24/10 rule in regards to your strategy? I don't. I think that's a rule about affordability, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't. It's not something that I use. When I use in my book, I have something called the perfect budget calculator. Now, there's things that I've actually invented. Excuse me, I'm drinking a lot of water. When you look at affordability is based on, in my book, knowing what you can pay comfortably and buying below your budget. There's 2 reasons that I've seen people lose cars. And sometimes you can combine these reasons. And if you can avoid these 2 things, you pretty much never have a shot at losing a car besides a hardship. I can't say a hardship is a reason people lose a car, because it's a real hardship. It can't be avoided. You lost your job, someone passes away, God forbid. That's unforeseen. We can't control that. The 2 things that we can control is 2 reasons I see people lose their cars. They go over their budget. So you went in to spend $400 a month, you leave at $500 a month. Now you're uncomfortable financially. You knew your max budget was 4. And look, if you've done this, not if you've lost a car, if you've done this, if you've gone over your budget, just type I ain't gonna ask you to type, just you know who you are, and I understand this happens. We never want it to happen again. We should not be going over our budget. Not only should we not be going over, the way I teach you to shop, we shop below our budget. Second reason is you didn't get a quality car. You got a bad car. So you could have a car below your budget, Deshaun, comfortable monthly payment, everything's good. Oh, it's a bad car, it's breaking down. Oh, yo, this car is affordable, it's comfortable. Oh, shoot, it's a lemon. So those 2 reasons, even when it comes to luxury cars, some people could afford the payment and now things start to break on it and they can't afford the maintenance. So when it comes to, now you combine those 2, I call that, now that's the repo recipe. Like literally, I'm over budgeting my car, and then the car starts to break down. So now I end up with a car that's in the shop. I can't even drive it, but I still got a payment to make on it. And now the shop just told me, oh, I need $2,000 to fix it. So the way I teach you to shop is to always purchase below your budget, and then using my strategies to find a quality car. If you get a quality car below your budget, that's what I teach. I don't know about the 24-10 rule. If it's working for people, God bless them, but I'm not that familiar with it. Go ahead. This one's from Instagram. Would it be okay to go test drive a car but stay quiet? Use your techniques of not saying the wrong thing. Yep, just rest, drinking, and go back to shop from home. Yeah, that's it. That is literally the formula. When you are shopping for a new car or a lease, not with a used car, we talked about this earlier. You are going to go in and test drive that car. That's the last thing you're going to do before you actually end up getting offers on it. Because that in my book, that's in step 4, which is the shopping step. Shopping is deciding what you want, not buying it. When you're shopping, you're deciding what you want. So once you test drive a car with a lease, I always tell people have 3 vehicles that you like. Because the first vehicle you shop for, you might get all those offers and it has a bad lease program on it. So many of our people have gone to their second choice because they'd be like, Deshaun, I wanted a Range Rover. Range Rover lease was stupid. So I went and I got me a Lexus truck. Or I went and I got me the Mercedes that had a better lease program. That's fine. You can't control the lease program. So what you're going to see when you're shopping for a lease is a dealer could be discounting the car for you by thousands. If the lease program's bad, it's still going to be over 1.5%. But yeah, when it comes to it, that's what you do. We are test driving. Hey, I'm here to test drive. I'll teach you in the book how to call, set it up. Hey, I'm here for my test drive. You're there for 20 minutes. All right, listen, I enjoyed it. Thank you so much. If I decide this is the car for me, I'll certainly give you a call. No, hey, listen, can I just tell you about the offers? No, thank you. I'm good. You have to be adamant on that. And you'll know now if you sit down and you start talking numbers, you know, man, I ain't following Deshaun's system. At least now you'll know. Now, I don't want you to do it. I want you to like force yourself. Nah, man, listen. Nah, look, because what you're going to do is you're going to go home and you're going to talk to multiple people like him. He wants you to sit down there so he can get that one-on-one with you. No, we're not doing 1-to-1. We're doing 1-to-25. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Test driving, not rest drinking. Oh, no problem. I figured that's what you meant. I knew you. He said, I meant test driving, not rest drinking. Listen, I know. And this is, if you ever have an issue getting your book at the end, it's only because that happens. We type fast. We switch a couple. That's why whenever you purchase the book, you'll see there's a support email. If that book is not in your inbox in literally less than 10 minutes, then it's usually an issue with the way you type the email. Just email the support and we'll make sure that you get the book direct to you. But yeah, no problem. I'm with you. All right, peace and blessings. I'm pre-approved for a vehicle. Should I tell the dealership up front or no? Yeah, Gina, you know what? I like it. I know people will say, yo, don't tell a dealership. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to let the dealership see if they can beat your rate. But you got to, whatever dealership you ended up buying from, when you find that car that has the best price, you go lock it up. And then you say, listen, I got my own financing. Here's my offer. But if you guys could beat it, then I'll give you the loan. See, that creates a much better experience because what you're going to lose from some dealers is they won't even sell you the car for that price if you don't give them a shot to beat your rate. They won't sell you the car. So when you go in and say, yeah, I got pre-approved, but if y'all could beat it, I'll do the loan with y'all. Now you've given them, you see, you don't lose anything by doing that. In fact, what you're going to see sometimes is they'll call you and say, good news, we got you a better interest rate than what you got. See, what we are trying to avoid is that having the dealer get us our only interest rate and then overpaying. People said, no, I don't want that. I hear these dealers overcharge for the rates and they're making money on them. So then they went and started getting pre-approved and said, no, I'm not going to let the dealer even have a try. But no, you don't want to do that. You want multiple people bidding for your finance rate. And what you'll see is if you do it within a 45-day period, experience calls that the rate window, it's only going to weigh on your credit as one hard inquiry. So whatever one hard inquiry would have lowered your credit score, Whatever that, if they did a hard inquiry to get you the pre-approval, you already have it. But if you could do multiple hard inquiries within that rate window period. And if you can go to Google and you can actually verify this, because sometimes people say, Deshaun, is this true? Let me show you, and then we'll get ready to wrap. But I want to show y'all this. If you actually go to Experian, let's just Google. Hold on. You go to google.com and just type in rate window, rate shopping, cars, Experian. And you'll see Experian has an article called What is Rate Shopping? And it says it right on here. And it gives you a window of time where you can shop and have multiple people. So it says the FICO score. Now the FICO score window is 14 to 40 days. So just read it and just know this is on the credit bureau site. This is on the credit bureau site. So do it right, but let these people bid for your business, because you never know if they can get you a point or half a point or 2 points better on the interest rate. They'll save you tons of money. All right. Okay. All right. Listen, we've been on for an hour and a half. Listen, we're going to wrap, but I hope to continue this with y'all. If anybody has my book, I will certainly be continuing with you, but I'll also be doing these live shows pretty regularly. I'm going to send these out. We'll eventually be promoting them. I'm going to promote the exact time so you guys know. That way, if you see somebody in their car shopping, you can say, hey, this guy, he does this show at this particular time. Most likely it's going to be 12 Eastern time. And we're thinking about doing a second live show, 3 p.m. Eastern time. That way. But what you're going to also see is we're going to be rebroadcasting these. So because, people want to watch it later, and people get just as much value watching it later, because the same question you asked is the same question they were going to ask. So listen, if you want everything I teach in one spot, you want this arsenal of information that you can use step by step, go grab my new book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. And click the link in my TikTok bio. You'll see a website there. Same thing with the Instagram bio. And it's 75% off as part of our book launch. It's normally $97. You can go to Deshaun'sBook.com if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, scan the QR code. However you get it, if you get it before that timer hits 0, you get the 75% off. After that, it goes back up to $97. So, all right, we will be back. We'll be back tomorrow. Meet me at noon. And the book, of course, the book, somebody said, is the book for leasing too. The book is everything. The book is leasing, it's purchasing, it's buying new, it's buying used, it's selling leases, it's selling cars you owe money on, it's paying cash, it's extended warranty. It's a 7-step system. So it's called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships, which y'all know, everybody who learned from me, we avoid these dealerships. We're not in there for any more than 30 minutes. So it's a digital book. So every time I update it, when you open the new file, you'll see, oh, shoot, this changed. That's because it's updated. If I update a script, because you got my scripts in there, and there's some things in the book where I link you to a video, anything I update, we update it, and your file will automatically be updated. So you never have to worry about the book becoming obsolete and being like, man, it worked for me in 2024, but now I'm in 2025. No, we'll always be updating it to make sure that it stays relevant. You don't need to go buy volume 5. All right, y'all, here we are, 2027. Now I want you to get volume 5. No, one time. So go grab your copy, 75% off. Even if you missed the countdown, $97 is still incredible value. We sold a lot of copies at $97, but why not get 75% off? So, all right, I'll be back tomorrow at noon. Set your calendars, set your timers. If you want to meet me and have some more questions answered, we'll be back tomorrow for a show tomorrow at noon Eastern time. And certainly appreciate all of you, man. Thank you so much. God bless y'all. And let's keep saving this money. Let's keep unlearning and relearning. God bless y'all.